I want to say hello to everyone. Thank you for coming. I'm very happy to see you all. Yes, your question, please.
When we pray for another person, what happens to their karma? Does it burn away?
Today I wanted to have a serious discussion about how it works when we pray for ourselves or for another person. This will be our second block of discussion. First, I will briefly explain some technical issues related to karma that you need to know. We will discuss this question in more detail at the end of our conversation.
I have a follow-up question. It is said that when a person becomes devoted, the Lord takes their karma into his hands. Is there any point in praying for such a person in this case? After all, the Lord is already in control of their karma. The Lord knows better.
There are certain points to be understood. The word devoted means completely devoted, you understand? I've only seen a few people like that in my life. If a person completely devoted to the Lord, in this case the Lord takes all karma into his hands, this devoted person is called a holy person. If a person is 10% devoted to the Lord, then the Lord takes 10% of their karma into his hands and doesn't take the other 90%. We are all about the same kind of devotees. Frankly speaking, we give very little of our life to the Lord. We mostly keep it for ourselves. Although we consider ourselves devotees, we shouldn't think that the Lord takes all our karma. I've seen many examples when people who pray and believe in the Lord suffer according to their fate, as they should. The reason is that they are not devoted enough. We definitely need to pray for them and help them in their lives. There should be no illusions here. You understand? Some people are sure that they will go to the spiritual world immediately after this life. I've very rarely met such people. This is also an illusion that needs to be dispelled. Devotion comes in different forms. Holiness is the highest manifestation of devotion. The person goes to the spiritual world after this life, and they are truly in the hands of the Lord, and there's no need to pray for them. I tried praying for another person. One exalted person had difficulties in life. I began to pray for him. I felt that the Lord was not allowing me to do this, not accepting my prayers. It means that I am less devoted to the Lord than that person, and it makes no sense for me to pray for him, because the weak cannot help the strong.
How can parents cleanse their children's karma? Can they do it?
Good question. Parents always purify their children's karma. Children have their own karma. That means that parents receive their children according to their fate. Parents need to step over one threshold to help their children. Their children have strong feelings of pleasure. Children give their parents pleasure, and parents become highly dependent on that pleasure. This addiction makes them feel anxious about their children, triggers a desire to care for them, and causes various worries. From this point of view, it all simply means fate. For instance, if a mother is concerned about her child, it means that she is giving them part of her energy, her devoutness. If she is anxious, it means she is no longer giving. The worry itself indicates that you no longer have enough energy for them. Worrying is laziness of the soul. You should not worry, but pray. If you begin to worry about your child, it means that your heart is telling you, don't worry, pray. When a person prays, they overcome their fate. When they worry, they're just wasting their time. We always help because the Lord has made it our responsibility to help our children. And how does that happen? Children give us pleasure, and in return we give them protection. That means we take care of them. When pleasure decreases, parents begin to feel that happiness is somehow not emanating from the child. Perhaps something has happened to the child. That's just the way it is. If a child is in a bad state, they're not pleasing their parents, which means they have some problems. Their subtle energy goes to solving these problems, and parents are immediately involved in helping the child to overcome these problems, and this is the child's fate. It's nothing new if parents are anxious. It means they just don't want to help, because anxiety itself is a lazy state. One should not worry, just pray during this time until the heart calms down. If the heart has calmed down, it means the Lord has helped. The heart is an indicator. But there are things above this relationship that are provided by the Lord. It's called parental mercy. And when does it manifest itself? When parents are self-sufficient people, they are not dependent on their children. How do I determine that I am not dependent on my children? If parents are constantly thinking about their children and not about the Lord, it means that they are dependent on their children, feeding on their energy. And that means that there is no special help. You only do what is required of you by the Lord. Parents always help their children, always take care of them, and children should always be grateful for that. We are in a bond with our children. They give us pleasure. We give them care. That connection is predetermined by the fate of the children themselves and our fate. But if we want mercy, if we want to be above fate, then a person isn't dependent on their children. They don't think about their children all the time. They may think about their children when there is a need for it, but mostly they think about the Lord. If a woman thinks about her child all the time, it means that she believes in her child. She doesn't believe in God, whom a person remembers, they believe in. If a woman remembers the Lord, she certainly rises above her dependency on this energy of happiness that comes from the child. In that case, she can show mercy to the child. How does that work technically? How does that express itself in life? In life, this mercy is expressed when a child misbehaves. And the mother might be nervous. Why is she nervous? Because when a child misbehaves, they don't bring happiness. They brought happiness, but now they don't bring happiness, they bring suffering. And if you depend on that child, you're just going to get nervous and you're not going to help them. And then they start saying, "Mom, why aren't you talking to me? Why is that?" And mom can kindly explain, saying, "Don't misbehave, then I will talk to you." This type of upbringing where there's no anger, no emotions, no irritation, but just patience with the child, detachment from them, and a calm attitude towards them. For instance, when there's a big sea, when rivers flow into it, it doesn't change its level much. The same is true for a person. When a person is very happy on their own, their dependency on the child is weak. Then the person can calmly teach the child, say some calm things that the child will have to accept, because they see that their mother is behaving nobly, she isn't dependent on them. For instance, getting your child to really respect you is a certain path. If you depend on the child, become nervous, rude, you lose respect in the child's eyes. As a result, this process happens gradually. First, the child pays attention to their parents, then starts listening to them, obeying, respecting them, then starts to devote. It's a long path. It takes some time to go through this path. If your child doesn't even listen, it means that you are too attached to your child. And they don't feel that they should receive guidance from you. They don't feel that you're strong, noble. They see that you're constantly upset, nervous around them, and behaving inappropriately. If we're talking about mercy, it means that by fate, the child is not meant to have this. They're meant to have what they have. You can only give someone mercy if you are filled with mercy, if you are constantly connected with the Lord. But if you are not connected with the Lord, then you can't give mercy to your child. In this case, live as you can, do what you can. It's also good to fulfill your duties to your child. It's also a kind of help, but it comes by fate. The Lord gave parents to fulfill their duties. The other thing is the separation of the parents. That's a direct allusion to offending the Lord, because the family is not created for the parent, but for the child. People live with each other for the child. Some people say exactly that. We stayed together because of the child. That's the right decision. The Lord likes that. But if you broke up just because you want personal happiness and you don't care about the happiness of the child, then that's not in keeping with the child's fate. It's your choice, and the child is definitely getting something bad from you. It's also by fate, but it's best not to make that fate of your children. If you separated, that was also meant for the child by fate, but you could have stayed together and given mercy to the child, thereby overcoming their bad karma. That's roughly the answer.
Thank you. The child has a terminal illness, but I think I've heard the answer.
The child has a terminal illness, right? Prayer is needed. Constant prayer and help from doctors. Don't refuse help from good people, doctors, money. You need to use everything to overcome a terminal illness. If it doesn't work out, the child almost always goes to heaven. When a person dies, passes away as a child, it means that they've gone through suffering, got rid of bad karma, and gone to heaven. That's the way it usually goes.
Thank you.
Dmitry, Novosibirsk.
Hello, Dr. Torsunov. We were just discussing such a question with the participants today. There are some complex major trends happening right now in the country and around the world. Total control, digital passports, or mandatory vaccinations for infants. Passports and some other things like that will be mandatory there too. Or there is a deliberate propaganda of degradation of moral decay and values in the media. And how can one resist such ugra karma of the country and the world at large?
The first thing you should know is that what you're talking about has always been there. You just didn't notice it before. Now you've noticed it. That's the way your fate works. When a person starts to feel that something insurmountable is happening in the world, that is, some kind of lawlessness, it means that a bad fate has come into their own head. Personally, I don't feel the lawlessness and other things you listed in the world. Maybe there will be total vaccination of infants, maybe not. There are different opinions about this point. Maybe they will chip people. That means there are good reasons to do so. I trust the government, and if it happens, then there are some good reasons, and the people should comply. There are no ferocious demons in power. There are normal people who try to help others, to take care of them. This applies to all rulers. Their karma corresponds to the karma of people. Even if there is some bad ruler, that means the people are like that. There's nothing special about it. As soon as you get the feeling in your head that evil is controlling the situation, then it's only happening in your head, and the reason for that control is improper communication. You've been listening and watching too much that you shouldn't be listening and watching. There are 3 types of faith in this world, and we will definitely be talking about that today. The first belief is the belief in ignorance, when evil controls the whole situation. There are some people who keep saying this all the time. They say, the Masons control the world. Someone else is running the world. That it's all a human to destroy and kill everyone. Everyone's going to get chipped and going to be dependent. What nonsense. A person is only dependent on the Lord. Let's say there's a chip. So what? If the Lord doesn't want it, the special services won't pay attention to you. If the Lord wants, they will. Even if you have a chip, it doesn't make a difference. It's my experience. I'm a well-known person. A lot of people pay attention to me. I see that if the Lord doesn't want it, nothing happens. If the Lord desires it, it happens. But if I start fearing everyone, getting scared, walking around saying, injustice. I've been studying the subject of dissidents, all people who have been discriminated against very harshly, unfairly, and I've noticed that they all have the same problem. They were all scared before it happened to them, and they all started howling, yelling something. Everything is bad in the country. Take the same Decembrists, for instance. Why did they try to kill the government? Who let them do it? They did it, they went to hard labor. That's a normal thing. There's no problem here. Power must protect itself too. In Russia, in Moscow, some people decided that their party must necessarily participate in the elections. They were not allowed for some reason. They started organizing strikes in Moscow, throwing bricks at the police and saying that there's no law in the country. In my opinion, it's better to let the world be run by the authorities than this so-called democracy. When they just pay people money, meaning someone pays money for someone to change the authority, that's called democracy. I'm not making a big deal out of this problem. There's no particular problem. They protested and they're done. Just understand the principle. If you have thoughts in your head that everything in this world is unfair and bad, it's a problem in your own head. It means you're listening to the wrong things. There's good news in every country. Listen to that good news. Who saved whom? Who helped whom? How many plants and factories opened in the country? How many heroic deeds were done? You're starting to delve into this painful topic. Children are dying from severe infections. There are statistics. The doctors don't know what to do about it. They decided to make vaccinations widespread. I'm sure that this topic won't pass in the Ministry of Health because there are many opponents of these vaccinations. There are always people with square eyes who say, there's a world conspiracy. Soon everyone will be exterminated. Nuclear war is coming. The world is going to end in 2012. The crack will go from Moscow to Krasnodar. Leave Krasnodar immediately. That's what I've been told by people who believe all these things. And I was just laughing in my heart at these people because they are very strongly attached to this earth. They don't understand that in a very short time, they will find themselves in a completely different place. They will live on another planet with different people, and there they will also worry about the end of the world. You are an eternal soul. There's no need to worry about anything. Even if there's a nuclear war, it's not terrible. We are eternal anyway. You will be born on another planet where there won't be war. Everything in this world needs to be perceived more deeply, and attentively. Because if you are only attracted to negative news, if you only perceive this world negatively, then the result will also be negative. Whatever a person thinks about, whatever they believe in, that's what they come to. I know many religious people who run around with wide eyes talking about some nonsensical things. Then it turns out that none of this happens. And even if it does happen, it's not so terrible after all. I talked to one person who lives in Donbass. There's a war going on there. He says, well, we just live as usual. It's okay. One lady, a cleaner from Donetsk, comes to our festival. She's such a cheerful, happy person. I ask, when will you leave Donbass? She says, I like it there. It's okay to live there. Don't blow things out of proportion. It doesn't lead to anything good. That's my answer to your question.
Can I ask for a small clarification? Can I ask a follow-up question to this? When I see negative tendencies, what should my practical conclusion be? For example, I put more effort into getting people to come to your seminars, or I also organize some events to spread knowledge. I don't know if I should use such motivation or not.
Absolutely not. Under no circumstances. This is demonic motivation, scaring people with the end of the world, vaccinations, chips. This is a purely demonic approach to preaching. To instill fear in people's hearts, make them believe that everything is bad, the end of the world is coming soon, everyone will be chipped soon, and so on. This is pure demonism.
I don't tell this to people. I just understand that there are good things and there are bad things, and the bad things disturb me a little. I understand that if more people act based on knowledge, then life should generally become better.
Yes, that's right. So when someone tells you about everyone being chipped, just don't pay attention. This is faith in degradation. It should be ignored. We ignore everything connected with degradation. We cooperate with passion, taking the best from it, and we preach pure goodness. If someone says, "You've been cursed," you need to either strongly reject this knowledge or ignore it. If you can't reject it, if the person won't listen, then simply pay no attention.
Okay, thank you.
But if we pay attention to this and believe it, then we fall under the influence of this force, and we become the same. Try to understand enormous forces are at work in this world. Enormous forces. To believe that I can handle it is very doubtful. You can't allow yourself to fall under the influence of certain forces. It's very dangerous. Therefore, be careful. If you find yourself in fear about what's happening in the world, it always leads to defeat. Even when there's a war, is there anything left to fear? A tank is coming at you. A person who isn't afraid of the tank always wins. They have a clear mind. If they are destined to survive, they will survive. If not, they will die and go to heavenly planets. But if they become afraid, they don't win at all. Fear or faith in degradation always leads to defeat. Good question, thank you.
Hello, Dr. Torsunov, and everyone who is listening.
Hello, I wish you happiness.
Thank you very much. I will read. How to deal with one's own helplessness when you understand your mistakes, but can't find a solution. Can't understand fate. You can't understand what fate is saying through these situations, what it's hinting at. Sometimes something happens, and you think, what is fate telling me at this moment?
This is a good question. I'll tell you how to understand this. If fate is telling you something, if some mistakes have occurred, then at this moment you shouldn't think. You should understand that you won't figure out anything. That means prayer is needed. A person needs to distance themselves a little from the event. Start thinking about God, repeat a prayer. You need to concentrate on remembering God. Concentrate more and more and more. And at some point you will feel calmness in your heart. When you have felt calmness in the heart, at that moment you need to understand that knowledge will follow. When you've calmed down in your heart, the next moment knowledge comes. Therefore, you can't understand anything immediately, and if you don't think intensely about God, knowledge won't come. First, calmness about the situation must come. Calmness means that you are stronger than the situation. We always interact with the situation. When we are weaker, there's anxiety in the heart. When we are stronger, there's calmness. When a person becomes stronger than the situation, the next moment, knowledge about the situation comes. Knowledge comes after calmness, therefore prayer is always needed until calmness comes. Knowledge won't come until you calm down. This is important to understand.
Thank you very much.
Be happy.
I have such a question. I heard in your lectures that to overcome fate, one needs to pray. And pray not with the mind, but let it all into the heart. And you said that there are different types of psyche. And depending on this, during prayer, some people need to bow. Imagine that they are bowing to the feet of the Mother of God. Some need to imagine her life. Some need to remember the lives of saints. And how to understand what type of psyche we have. What is more effective in our case?
Good question. How to understand? By inspiration. Remember, don't listen to any theories. Find what inspires you, what touches your memory. If holy water inspires you, you can't forget it. Then take a photo of this source, hang it up on the wall, look at it, or listen to the murmur of this water when you pray. If you were inspired by, let's say, someone singing, don't listen to anyone else, whether they're completely holy or not. It doesn't matter. They sing about God, and by listening to their prayer, you can overcome fate. Inspiration is the main sign. Inspiration means love. You love it, you like it, you have this feeling, this connection with this person, or connection with this temple, or connection with this faith, connection with this icon. Always when you have inspiration, it's victory. And if you say, nothing inspires me, then search, search. You haven't had enough contact with holiness. God will definitely give it to you. Go to holy places, go where people pray. Search, listen, study. Sooner or later, inspiration will come. Apply it during your prayer. Either look at it or listen to it, one of the two.
Next, an interesting question about victory through prayer. I wanted to ask, how long and what prayer should one pray to improve family karma and children's karma? If you see that karma is heavy and you're trying to change something in life, work on what parents didn't finish, then how can you improve karma of future children by changing today's life?
This is a good question. Let's look at it from two sides. The first question is practical. It's about prayer itself. You pray for someone. At first, when you pray, the karma of today will change because you want this. That means if you want to change it now, then it will change now. If you've changed everything now and continue praying, then it will keep changing further and further. Now the second option, you pray. Everything is good in your life now. You don't want to change anything concerning your child now, but then you can tune into the future, a year ahead, 2 years ahead, and feel the danger. First you pray, 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 you don't feel anything, but at some point you will feel that there is danger in the future, and you can overcome it. So this is one version of events. You just pray, tune into the future, and you overcome the future. Or you tune into the present, everything is good in the present, then the protection of the child will continue further. This is the first option. The second option of protection is a righteous life. It means to hold spiritual programs at home, inviting a priest to the house, inviting good people who give their blessings, and placing sacred objects in the house. Monitor who your child is friends with to protect them from a wrong fate. That means to purify life. One option to purify a person's fate is prayer. Another option is to purify life. How does prayer work? It softens fate. It makes it gentler. And how does life purification work? It makes things more favorable. A person is better disposed to good than to evil. Again, we are talking about faith. That means that faith softens fate. Let's say if a person believes in good and a thug came to kill them, but they treat the thug with kindness, there's a very high chance that this person won't be killed. The thug feels that the person is good and kind. Why kill them? What do you want from them? Let's say you want to take their money. They give it. The person says, "Here, take it. All the money is yours." Where's the money? It's right here. Is there more? That's all? There's no more. That's it. The thug sees it's a pure person who gives everything away. You won't turn me in? I won't. This person is honest. Everything ends up fine. No one is killed. This can happen. If a person has inner strength, they treat people with kindness. It doesn't mean they're foolish and don't understand they might get killed and act silly, laughing, "You came to kill me?" Someone like that will most likely get killed. But when a person has overcome human malice in their heart, they believe in human kindness, they're holy, and therefore they treat others with kindness. Even if they're hit, they don't react. Therefore, a person saves themselves this way. They overcome fate through human kindness. This is correct thinking, correct behavior. When a person purifies the atmosphere in their apartment, they form such thinking in their child. That means that by purifying the apartment and their life, they form kindness in the child, which saves them from malice. And when a person prays, they directly influence fate. These are two ways to help a child. Use both.
Next question. Dr. Torsunov, hello. Thank you very much for your seminars. We attend them regularly. And here's a question. How can a woman learn to focus her mind on prayer when it's always jumping around and constantly switching to different desires, worries, and especially when it's not possible to pray in the morning?
Yes, there are methods suitable for women. For example, chanting the prayer in a melodic way. That means that everything connected with love attracts the female mind. The female mind is drawn to love, for example, rejoicing in prayer, singing and cooking at the same time, and you will be able to concentrate on prayer. Or play spiritual songs that you like, those that you adore. Maybe they're not so holy, but at least they sound feminine. Such beautiful feminine chants help too. You listen to such music and repeat the prayer, rejoice in life, and that's it, a woman becomes focused. A woman's mind becomes focused when feminine energies flow, energies of love, kindness, tenderness, and affection. When masculine energies flow, it's not always pleasant for a woman. She might be able to focus on masculine energies, or she might not. That's roughly how it is. A woman might not like spiritual songs that sound masculine. Some like it, some don't. That means that it all depends on taste. Feminine energies always attract a woman. They make her happy. She feels happiness. That's roughly how it is. Pure atmosphere is important for a woman. That means that everything is tidied up, made beautiful, so it's clean. Nothing distracts the mind. Because a woman reacts to all kinds of bugs, cockroaches, dirt. She can't be around them. This creates disharmony, and therefore she can't concentrate. That means that you need to remove everything unfavorable. Make everything beautiful so that the altar is very beautiful. Put everything that attracts the mind on the altar. Play feminine music and cook at the same time, and sing the prayer. Not repeat the prayer, but sing it while cooking, and then the mind will be less distracted. The more feminine energies, the less a woman's mind gets distracted.
So it doesn't matter who sings the prayer, a man or a woman? The most important thing is that you like the melody?
Yes, the most important first condition is that your mind should be attracted to prayer. After all people who sing about God, they are connected with God at that time, especially if the chanting inspires. This is very important. And then secondly, from those who inspire, you can choose those who are more holy. But if you listen to someone who is very holy but doesn't inspire you, it's a waste of time. You won't get results. Inspiration comes first. A person inspires, that means they attract your feelings and thoughts to themselves. This should be used.
Thank you very much. Next, please. Hello, everyone. I have such a question. I recently heard a new word for myself, yagya. I would like to know, can participation in yagya help in overcoming fate?
The first thing to understand, don't be attracted to words that sound in another, unfamiliar language. Yagya literally translates as sacrifice. It's a ritual. Ritual sacrifice, yagya. It's all the same thing. It's just that the word sacrifice means to some people that someone will be killed. Like in one Vedic temple, a person was caught stealing. He came to steal while people were at a spiritual program. And he stole. They caught him and brought him to the mentor, the head priest, and he fell on his knees before him, saying, "Do whatever you want, just don't sacrifice me." Well, that means he doesn't understand what it is. And this head priest, he made a joke. He said, "Okay, we won't sacrifice you, but we will punish you. We'll punish you, but not by death." He said, "Do whatever you want, just don't sacrifice me." It was a Sunday spiritual program. They sat him down and made him eat sweets. And he started eating sweets. At first he thought, everything seems fine. What's the punishment? Then they told him, "Eat more." And they fed him so many sweets that the poor fellow couldn't even get up. That's how they punished him. He started thinking if it was still worth stealing. I don't know if what they did was good or bad. Sacrifice in our age means that a person sacrifices their words. I wish happiness to everyone. This is a sacrifice. A person gives their happiness to others. This is a sacrifice. You can sacrifice something through fire. When the fire is burning, you can throw grains or fruits into the fire as a symbolic offering to God. God also accepts offerings through fire. This is also a sacrifice. Or sacrifice during a religious service when a religious ceremony is going on. They light oil lamps and offer them to the altar image. Or they bless everyone with water. All of this is also a sacrificial ritual. And it's very beneficial to participate in all ceremonies and sacrifices that don't involve violence. In our era, God has forbidden sacrificing animals, humans, and so on. It's all very sinful. When they slaughter a goat and put it on the altar, it's a sinful act. All of this is forbidden to do in our era, and such sacrifice is sinful in our time. Now you'll say, when was it not sinful? I can explain this. Such sacrifices in past eras were not sinful. Why? Because priests could bring back to life the animal that was killed during the sacrifice. And this was done primarily for the benefit of the animal itself, because this animal would receive a new body, much better and much stronger than the previous one. From the fire would emerge a very strong goat. That means that the animal gets a better body. That's option one. Second option, it goes to heavenly planets. You see, it's very difficult for a human to get to heaven, and for animals it's impossible. But in this case, the animal turns into an angel and goes to the higher planets. It's really great for the animal. And as a result, this animal emanates such happiness, such gratitude, that its meat becomes blessed food. This meat becomes a beneficial food. Only such meat can be beneficial food. Or the animal goes to the spiritual world altogether. The priests were so powerful. And then this meat would become a super beneficial blessed food. But in our time, this is impossible. There are no such priests who could do this. They don't exist. People don't have such holiness and purity. Therefore, these sacrifices are forbidden. One can sacrifice prayer. What kind of sacrifice is beneficial? When people gather together and pray in chorus, they sacrifice prayer into space, to each other, to everyone who listens. This offering in a form of joint recitation of prayer is considered the best in our era. This is the best offering, best sacrifice, because you give your strength, your memory, to the people who listen to it. This is the best sacrifice. It's good to participate in such an event, but if someone is being killed, then I don't advise you to participate in it. Or, let's say, some foolish things are being done at this event. For example, a sacrifice or ceremony where they give you spiritual initiation. It's good if you followed the rules, served the mentor for 2 years, followed all principles, observed all rules, and received initiation. Then the ceremony is considered proper. But if you did nothing, just came to this ceremony and immediately got initiated, this is complete foolishness. This is foolishness. You shouldn't go to such ceremonies where they give you some benefits that you haven't earned. Did nothing and received benefits. It's foolishness. Lead a righteous life, then the ceremony will help you. Let's say people did everything to conceive a child, but it's not working. They performed a ceremony. The priests offered prayers. And if people made efforts, then God would do his part. Sacrifice is needed for mercy, so that a person receives mercy. God will help those who want to help themselves, who acts correctly. If a person acts in the right direction, God will help, no problem. If they don't act correctly, he won't help. Whether you perform the ceremony or not, God is not a fool. He understands who to help and who not to. If you do everything right yourself and perform the ceremony, he will help. But if you're hoping for a miracle, you go to the ceremony and want a miracle, don't even count on that. Nothing will happen. It's self-deception. Among all the intelligent beings, God is the most intelligent. If you understand yourself that you did nothing and want to get something for free, then God understands this 10 times better, because he is in your heart and knows everything, what you did and didn't do. He understands everything, therefore you won't fool him. And you must decide for yourself whether to go to this sacrifice or this yagya or not to go. You decide for yourself, because there are different kinds of yagya. What kind of yagya it is, what it's needed for, and so on.
I listened to your lectures. You changed my life, with God's help, of course. I listened and did what you said. Thank you. Now my father has passed away, and I pray, of course. My mother is very worried. What should I do? How can I comfort her? I live in another city. What should I do?
First, you need to understand how fate works. Fate works through you. If you're worried now, you won't be able to help your mother. You need to sit down, start praying, and calm yourself in your heart first. It's not time to comfort your mother yet. Next, you need to pray more until you get a feeling inside that you can help your mother. This means that you've already started cleansing the connection between you. And only after this can you call your mother. And with this feeling that everything is good, everything is calm, you should start communicating with your mother. But you don't have strength. Right now, I don't see you having the strength to communicate with your mother. You yourself are in the wrong state. This means that you won't help her, only interfere. It will only get worse. You need to first achieve calmness in your heart during prayer. Then feel that you can help her. Only then should you try to help her. But you still need to call her. You must support her during this time, whether you have strength or not. You need to communicate with her, but don't expect that you can help her much at this time. To help, you need strength. Let's say I want to help someone move a table, but I don't have the strength to move the table. Why try to do it then? You'll just disappoint the person, and that's all.
I miss my father. What else should I do? I pray.
Missing means lack of knowledge, ignorance. Your father is connected with you. I can see him. He is directly connected with you. He's alive. He hasn't gone anywhere. You say he died. This is your misconception. He is alive. He's just in the subtle reality, not in the physical one. And he's alive. He sees you and misses you. To miss means to have no knowledge. You have no understanding of what contact is. Any contact between one person and another is always carried out only on a subtle level. Let's say you touch someone's body, but there's no connection on the subtle level. They don't see you. There's no contact. Let's say someone is seated, something is put on them. You don't say anything, you touch them. If they get a feeling, oh, this is my daughter, then there will be a connection. But if they don't feel it, they won't understand who's touching them. It means there's no contact. Contact occurs not through the body, but only through the heart. If you don't believe that you can contact him with your heart, then there's no contact. You believe that he died, that's why you miss him. You have no contact. But if you don't believe that he died, believe that he's alive, he just left the body, that's what it's called. In this case, pray for him and feel the connection with him. You won't have a feeling of separation then. There's no separation. There's a feeling that there are difficulties. When a person passes away, they face great difficulty. They begin their examination. Therefore, one should pray for them and feel the connection with them. For example, when my relatives pass away, I don't feel that they're gone. I feel the connection. There's no feeling that I'm not connected to them, that the connection is lost, because I have a different understanding of life. I know for certain that no one dies, but you doubt this. That's why you miss them and feel sad. And the connection between people is always only in the heart. You understand? Only in the heart. Whether people are near or far, they feel each other if there's a connection in the heart.
People ask, when everything is bad, we pray to God very easily. But how do we maintain connection with God when everything is good?
It's impossible not to lose connection with God when everything is good. When everything is good, a person undoubtedly loses connection with God, and this should be understood. Therefore, a person who doesn't want to lose connection with God should understand that in this world things are never absolutely perfect. If everything in this world satisfies them, if everything is good in their life now, they cannot pray properly, sincerely, because a person prays only for a reason. You understand? But when a person understands that not everything is good here in this world, that everything is temporary, then they will still pray to God, even when there are no dangers. But there's a moment when a person will definitely start praying to God, when they fall in love with Him. Then they will always pray, whether things are good or bad. But you see, this depends on God. We cannot receive love for God through our own efforts. It arises as a result of His desire. He reveals Himself when we eternally love God. We eternally love Him. We are eternally connected with Him. But only when He reveals Himself to us, and He reveals Himself when we deserve it. Then in this case we remember Him, this love for Him, and can no longer forget. So there are two options when a person prays, though everything is good. The first option is the position of knowledge. People understand that in reality not everything is that good. If everything is too good, it means it will soon get worse. One should pray in advance. And the second option is when you become attached to God. Then you want to pray simply out of love. To learn more on the subject of health and healing of the body, please make sure to read my health guide, available for download on my YouTube channel or on my Instagram page. Thank you very much, and see you soon.